Hi, I'm Brandon Trashy and welcome to the channel. So today I'm going to be going through what kit you're going to need for a basic Milsim. One thing I will say, always check with the site owner for a kit list. A lot of them do supply them on their website, so you know what kit you're going to need, and you are always going to have to tailor your kit to your environment. So if you are doing something like a 72-hour Milsim in the valley, in Wales, you're on a peak, there's no toilet facilities, there's no camping facilities or anything like that, it's not even fresh water, then you need to make sure that you tailor your kit for that. And if you are going to be at a site like Cope Down or Stanta, where there is solid ground, solid buildings, they're going to have tuck shops and food and water available, even toilet facilities, then you can pack different kit for that. So always make sure you speak to your event provider or the site owner to get a kit list from them and an expectation of what kit you're going to need to take. But always prepare for all weathers, and I will go into that a little bit further on. So what I'm going to do is move to this side of the kit, and I'll move my way across all of it and give you a brief explanation of what you need. Always start with the most important thing is your footwear. Make sure that you have the correct footwear for your environment. People just wear all sorts of boots and they don't really consider it. If you're going to be in the valley, in the snow, all weekend, then you definitely are not going to want to take a lightweight pair of boots like this with a very thin sole or anything like that, with a trainer-like sole. You want to take a pair of snow boots. I do actually have a pair of them. They're living in my shed at the moment, just because I haven't worn them in a while. You can even get away with something like this. This is the Caramel D30. It's very similar to the Solomon boot. Full waterproof, nice rugged grip on the bottom of there, all gel inserts and some thick thermal lining in there to keep your feet nice and warm. Last thing you want to do is have cold, wet feet for the entire weekend, because it does make you feel very, very ill, and it will make your feet really, really sore. So make sure that you've got the correct footwear for the environment. These gelouts are great for if you are at Stanta or at Cope Hill and it's all concrete, you're going to be sleeping inside in a building and you need to run around quickly, or you just need a very nice flat sole so you can get a little bit of movement on, then these boots are perfect for that. Always prepare for all weathers, no matter what the your forecast or your local site says. Always make sure you've got kit for everything. We were promised glorious 27-degree heat for my last event, and it was like that for one day, and the following day it rained the whole night and the whole day. So make sure that you always prepare for all weathers, no matter what. For that, I've got a nice OD here, shark skin soft shell jacket. They're very cheap, you can get them on eBay. Fully water repellent, nice and light, fits in with the camo very well. And this is my backup jacket. Here I've got a Gen 2 UK Army smock. So it's the Generation 2 version, so it's got the flap in the front. It doesn't really make that much difference. It's a very nice wind and waterproof smock that fits in with the rest of the camouflage. Moving over to the rest of the stuff that I would wear during the operation, I've got the Claw Gear Raider Mark IV trousers. They're very, very good trousers, nice and water repellent, nice and light. You can wear them in all weathers, and they are very, very solid trousers. If you're interested in the Claw Gear stuff, head over to clawgear.com and you can check out all of their equipment there. Nice solid t-shirt. Got Warrior Salt Systems t-shirt here that I would wear underneath my smock or my BDU if it was cold. This is the this is the Claw Gear combat shirt. Very, very good shirt, very, very nice cut. I'll just hold that up so you can see the front of it. Really, really nice material. As you can see, it's really tailored and tapered. The arms are in really, really nice material as well. So great bit of kit from Claw Gear there. I've worn this the other weekend and it was very solid kit. Is it worth taking backup trousers? Yeah, probably. I take a spare pair of multi-cams with me. Not all the times you're going to get to change them. Sometimes your legs are going to get a little bit wet, that sort of thing, and they dry out quite quick. But these being water repellent really, really do help, and they stop your legs from picking up any moisture. But it might be worth taking a spare pair of trousers depending on the environment. Tons of pairs of socks. As many pairs of socks as you can take with you, take them. It's always good to change into a fresh pair of socks at some point throughout the op, whether it is wet feet through sweat or it is wet feet through the boots absorbing moisture. I've got a couple of pairs here of the Caramel waterproof sock, and I've got some seal skins here as well. Definitely take a few pairs of socks, nice big thick hiking socks. They're quite cheap, you can get them from Sports Direct, places like that, and go and get your seal skin waterproof socks as well. They're really nice, they do retain a little bit of heat, so you can have quite warm feet, but definitely a few pairs of socks. Small military kit here, Highlander first aid one. This has got all sorts of stuff in it that I've packed through. They're lighters, elastic bands, tourniquets, all sorts of tablets for antihistamines, allergies, all that sort of stuff. paracetamol, Savlon, anything you're going to need if there's any cuts, sores, wounds or anything like that. Accidents do happen at airsoft, especially when you're out in the sticks and you know someone gets a barb off of some barbed wire, or you're crossing fences, you get one of them in the hand, you know, you can just put a little bit of iodine on it or something like that just to stop it from getting infected. So always handy, I always carry this with me. Got a Norwegian here, again you can pick these up from army surplus shops, about £6 or £7. The Norwegian shirt is renowned for being very, very warm in cold temperatures. At the same time, I don't always get to throw it on, but it is an extra layer if you need it, if you are getting wet out in the rain. Got a big microfiber cloth here, always good, always carry it on me just for wiping the gun down, wiping off goggles, wiping off electrical equipment. It does absorb a lot of moisture, and it's sometimes nice just to wipe your face off if you are soaking wet. Spare headwear, so I've got a hat, I've got a beanie here as well, just further up there. You know, headwear is always good. They do say that you lose a lot of heat out of your head, but that's a lie. You know, but it is always good to have your head covered. If you aren't wearing a helmet, you know, just to stop any damage from a BB, you know, hat or cap is going to soften it a little bit. Moving across the front here, I've got another spare t-shirt. This is a black long sleeve t-shirt that's a slight, it's like 50% thermal, and then I've got a set of thermals here as well. So these are long johns and a long sleeve top thermal. So even if it's hot, even if it's nice and dry, you know, just pack them. They don't take up much room, and they're really going to help if it does get cold or if you get wet or anything like that. You can throw them on, strip down some of your other kit. It's just nice to have some dry kit on for a little while, especially if you're out in the sticks. If there's no buildings and no cover, sometimes it's just a bit of a morale boost to move into dry clothes. Really good quality knee pads. So I've got them, they go in my claw gear trousers. Moving over to my gloves, I've got these Mechanics forest gloves, and I also take a spare pair with me that I think are in my box over there, and they are just another spare pair of old, like my second set of Mechanics, just in case someone drops their gloves, or you know they drop a glove or something like that, and it just allows you to keep their hands protected. Moving over to the next thing here, I've got my Armour Sight Skull Crusher and Armour Sight Night Vision. Now that isn't an essential piece of kit, but it's something that you know I really enjoy having. It has really helped my Milsim experiences, from being able to go out at night and see into those dark corners of the buildings, into courtyards and things like that, and moving around in the night in the woods just allows you to see down in front of your feet, so you're not going to fall over or trip over anything. Moving up towards the back, as we've gone through a lot of the kit that you're going to be wearing on you at all times, I've got my little kit box here, so this has got a ton of equipment in it. This is going to be the things that you're going to need to take with you. Pad and pen, always take them to a Milsim event. Rendezvous points for an emergency points of contact if there's mobile numbers or anything like that, or where to go to, as well as all of your key information. So if you've got to go after a HVI, there's no point if you're not going to remember it, so always note down stuff, note down rendezvous points. Moving through this box, I've got a ton of stuff in here: headache tablets, loads of tools, spare torches, forks, BB, speed loaders, lighters, sellotape, spare comms, cables and equipment. Everything goes in this box for me. It's little spit, you know, like I've got spare CO2 canister for my pistol, I've got tape in here, all sorts of things. I've got a rifle mounted scope cam, I've got lens caps, I've got IR filters for torches. I've got literally every little spare bits and bobs goes in here and comes with me at all times. If the guns go down and needs to be fixed, any small little replacement parts, springs or anything like that, always gets thrown in this box, as well as really nice high powered torch. Always good. Spare batteries, so I've got spare batteries in here for my night vision, and I've also got spare batteries in here for other comms and communications, AA's and AAA's in here. I've got a compass in here, so always take this out on the ground with me, just so that I can give directions of if we've got incoming fire, and for when I'm sniping I've always got my camo paint. When we go out onto the ground, I've got a nice solid knife in here and a fire striker, just in case things get really bad, and that solid knife in there has been really handy for cutting down twigs and branches and stuff like that, just for giving our shelters a little bit of cover, and I will move into that with a little bit more information as I get up towards the back of this. So if you move through here, I've got my big kit box here. You can get these available online. They are quite expensive. That is one thing I would give you a bit of a heads up about. These boxes are expensive, but really good to have. Keep your kit nice and dry. I have got a selection of backpacks with me. I've got a big 55 litre Warrior one here, and I've got the this is the Dragon Egg from Direct Action. It's a 32 litre small backpack, really good for a day sack if you're going out for a quick operation. You need to take some kit with you. If you're going to pick up any SSE, pick up laptops or anything like that, this is a really solid piece of kit. Got my full ghillie suit in here. This is the jackal version as well, really nice digital camo, and I've tied a ton of Hessian sacking to that, really nice ghillie suit. Moving across, I've got the bigger backpack with me. This is the Warrior one. This is the one that I normally have all of my kit in. This is where all the food, water, anything like that I'm taking for the operation can be carried. So I've got 2 of the large boxes. I normally manage to cram all of this kit here in this large crate. I have this on my back with all of my food, rations and everything like that for the weekend in. So that's really solid. Really nice piece of kit that is, can get a ton of stuff in there. I've got a ground mat, so it's one of the folding poly sheet ones. Really helps with losing any heat through the ground. So, you know, if you are going to be sleeping out on the ground, even if you're sleeping in a building or anything like that, always lay down one of these ground sheets and it's going to keep your body nice and warm. Moving over from that, I've got my Neuropol sleeping bag. What I would say about a sleeping bag is never go cheap, always buy, you know, the next one up from the one that you think you need. It's always nice to be nice and snug and warm when you are out on the ground. I've had that out in -5, -6 in November in Bali, and that was a really good piece of kit. I've got a basher here, just in DPM. I've got a ton of different attachments for that, to do that basher as well. So I've got paracord here, I've got bungees, and I've got tent pegs. So that is to cover us up if we are out on the ground cooking. The little jet boil, absolutely love it. Cups of tea, you know, basic rice, boiling the bag food, really good for having food while you are out on the ground. So that's going to keep you covered. I would, you know, suggest that you take a ton of food with you, whether it's dry food, stuff like pastas, sandwiches and all that sort of stuff. Just pack it into a bag, even if you're not going to eat it, you know, even if you think it's too much, take a load of food, because you'll be surprised how hungry you get if you are up all night. Now that might be out on an operation, or that might just be the fact that you're on stag for a couple of hours. It really is draining. Sometimes it's nice to come back, have a bit of food. So that's the basic kit that I would say that you're going to need. You know, it's plenty of clothing. Make sure you've got plenty of food, plenty of water. Take double the water that you think you're going to carry. Do you know what I mean? I take 6-8 litres with me if I'm doing a weekender, and I can fly through that by the time I've done a bit of cooking, washed up. If you need to clean your hands, clean your face, anything like that, clean some of your kit off. It's always good to have a ton of water with you. Moving over to the weapons, I take 2 AEGs and my sniper, my GMP being the primary, and the secondary being the Aries, and I take the sniper with me as well, depending on what I'm going to be doing that weekend. And I take kits that are going to be able to facilitate that as well. So on here I've got my Warrior Assault Systems Recon plate carrier, and it's got the selectable detachable pouches on the front, so I can interchange that with the stuff on the front of the Pathfinder if I need to. So this would be my 5.56 or AEG setup, and this would be my sniper setup, and I can jump between the two depending on the taskings that I get given. I've got the belt there as well, and that's got the holster and rear medic pouch on there, and a little pouch for a monocle. So really taking a ton of kit with me, and it seems like a lot, but obviously you want to go there as prepared as possible. And I've got all of my batteries in a nice safe LiPo bag, and I take 3 batteries for each gun. So I've got 3 for the GMP, I've got 3 for the Aries, and obviously this is spring powered. And I take a ton of CO2 with me as well. I've got my Wii MMP40 here, and I've also got a spare KWC P229. So it seems like a lot of kit, but really I think it's best to go there as prepared as possible. So this is going to give you all elements. You've got a couple of t-shirts, different types of chest wear, do you know what I mean? If you are just going to be running this, and your rig, if it's nice and warm, and if it's cold, you know, you've got a couple of jackets there. It's going to keep you nice and covered up, and even if one of the jackets gets soaked, you've got a backup and a replacement. You know, the boots, make sure that you've got good, solid, comfy boots, nice stuff to change into if you need to. I always take 2 sets of eyewear as well. It's another key thing. I've got my Bowl Tactical Fury glasses here, and I've got my garters as backups just in case one of them gets damaged. So you want to really go there with the thought of that if something goes down, that you've got a replacement. So essentially, if this goes down, I've got this. You know, if the you know, trousers and stuff like that, if they do get torn, make sure that you've got a spare pair of trousers with you. I've got them in my box. I've never really needed to go to them, but just in case. You know, stuff for cooking, make sure that you've got good food and everything on you. Loads of carrying materials. You know, I've got the 2 backpacks just in case. I've got the smaller one just for a quick day op, or if we need to carry, like I say, any SSC, if we're carrying anything on us, any intel. And then I've got the larger bag that if we need to go out on the ground for a long period of time, we can. I can carry a basher and everything in that to get set up for the night. So that's a basic overview of what you're going to need for a Milsim operation. If you do have any requests, if you do have any questions or anything like that, feel free to drop them in the comments box below. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all soon.